So, in this session, we can start with the SQL injection. So, can anyone tell me what is SQL or what is database language or what is database?
Actually, structure is SQL means structure query language. It's a standard language for database creation and manipulation.
Exactly. And what is SQL injection?
SQL injection actually not sure.
So, as we have our database, right?
Go ahead.
So, we have databases and then we have, so what is the database? Database is like where you can store something. Okay. So, database is, it is a piece of software where you can store something. Then we have two types of databases. First, we have, let me mention types of databases. So, first we have relational databases. Okay, and then second we have non-relational databases. Okay, so what is relational databases? So, relational databases are the databases where the data are stored in the form of table. Okay, so where we can store data in the form of table. Table means rows and columns. Okay, like combination of rows and columns. So that is known as relational database, where we can store data in the form of tables. Then second, we have non-relational databases. In these databases, we can store data in any form apart from tables. Okay, so here we can store data in any form apart from tables. Okay, for example, like we can store data here in the form of JSON, right? In the form of XML, in the form of videos, in the form of audios, in the form of images, and so on. Okay, so these are known as non-relational databases. In the non-relational, we can store data in any form which is not, we cannot store in the tabular format, which is in the table format. And in relational databases, we can store data in the form of tables, in the form of rows and columns. Okay, then we have languages, like let's say we have database. Okay, in the databases, we have tables, we have audios, we have videos, we have data, right? So let's say we have a table named users. In the table users, we have a column, which is we have column username, and then we have another column, which is passwords. In the column username, we have a row in which we have a username admin and we have password 12345. Then we have second row where we have username root and password is root. Okay. Now let's say you want to fetch the admin from the username or the admin row from the username, or you want to fetch the root here. So how we can fetch data from the database? Like how we can communicate with the databases. So that is we have SQL, which is known as structured query language. So with the help of SQL, we can communicate with the databases. And what is the meaning of communication? Which means we can perform CRUD operation, right? What is CRUD? Which is create, read, update, and delete. These operations we can perform with the help of SQL. Okay, so it is used for communicating with the database. Okay, with the help of SQL, we can read any data, we can fetch any data, we can delete, we can update any information, we can manipulate any information, we can create any kind of table, right? So basically, SQL works on the basis of queries. Okay. Then we have NoSQL, sorry, non-relational databases. For example, for the relational, we have like MySQL, we have MongoDB. These are the relational databases, Oracle. And for the non-relational, we have NoSQL, we have Mongoose. Okay, so these are the example of non-relational. So for the non-relational, like which language do we use? For the relational databases, we can use SQL. And for the non-relational, we can use any language. It depends on what kind of programming you are using for your application. Okay, so we mainly talk about the relational databases. Okay, so here we have SQL. So this is SQL. SQL is a type of language which we can use to communicate with the databases. Okay, so here we have a connection with the database. And what is SQL injection? So SQL injection is a type of attack where we can dump the database of any application, web application, and or we can say web applications or web apps. Okay, so in the SQL injection, we can either dump any database of any website or we can bypass the authentication mechanism. Okay, that is known as SQL injection. So let's take an example. We have a database. Let's say the database name is database 1. Okay, 101. Inside database 101, we have a table name user. Okay, users. Inside users, we have a column. Okay, we have columns, username and password. And then we have rows, which is admin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and root. Okay, these are rows. And these are username and passwords are column. So basically, let's say we have a website, abc.com. Let's say this website is a e-commerce website, or we can say any college website, any institute website, any school website, any kind of website. Okay, so let's say it is a e-commerce website. And what is the meaning of e-commerce? Where you can purchase anything, right? So let's say you are purchasing any kind of product from abc.com. So now whenever you are purchasing, you are creating your account, you are selecting a product, then you are making the payment, then you are putting your address, your phone number, and so on. So you are putting your details. So all those details are stored in the database of that website. Okay, now what if you apply the SQL injection here in this website, which means you can able to dump all the data from the database illegally. Okay, so that is known as SQL injection, where you are fetching the data from the database without permission. Okay, so that is known as dumping the data, which is the main essence of SQL injection. Or let's say we have a login page for this ABC website where you can create your account. Maybe you can bypass the login page. Okay, with the help of SQL. Okay, that is also known as SQL injection. Okay, and we have many types of SQL injection. We have time-based SQL injection. We have error-based SQL injection. Like we have many types of SQLs. Okay, so what is SQL? Where you can, it is a type of attack where you can target any database or you can target any login page. In the database, you can dump the data from the database illegally, and in the login page, you can bypass any login page, or we can say authentication mechanism. Okay, so we can use SQL injection on the database as well as on the authentication pages. Okay, this is it with the SQL injection. Now, how we can apply this SQL injection or where we can apply? So first is where we can apply. So here we have a note. If the website is vulnerable, then we can apply it. Okay. If not, then we cannot apply it. So if the website is vulnerable towards SQL injection, then only we can apply. Okay. Let's say the website is vulnerable to any other vulnerability, then we cannot apply. Okay, so vulnerability means the website should be vulnerable to SQL injection. Then only we can apply the SQL injection on that website. Okay, so first we have to check if the website, if your target is vulnerable or not. Okay. Secondly, where we can apply it? Now let's think of it databases. We have a e-commerce website. We can apply on the e-commerce website. Basically, we can apply on any kind of website which have a database. Okay, let's say we have a blog website. Okay, we have a e-commerce website. We have colleges website. We have school websites. We have uh, any other websites. Okay. So now let's say in the blog website, let's say we don't have anything, like blogs are like static in nature. Like you can go through blogs, even you can put a comment. Okay, you can put your perspective there. So blogs are something which, let's say we have a blog website which have a database. So it is not necessary to dump the database of the blog website because we don't have anything there. Okay, if there's a website and the website have a blog page, then we can say you can dump it. Maybe the blog is asking for your username or password. Okay, then the database can contain the username passwords of the users. But if it is a simply a blog website, it is a static website, where you cannot do anything. You can just go through the blog. Okay, you cannot put any input, you cannot interact with the web page. Then we cannot dump the database. Like we can, but there's nothing in the database. Okay, so dumping the website database is useless. But e-commerce website, colleges website, schools website, and so on, like we have many websites, companies website. If we dumping those websites, then we can found something useful. Okay. So dumping the databases of colleges, e-commerce, school, etc., we can like find something useful in that, like the payment details, the username, passwords, and any other information, the details of the users, the phone numbers, the address, okay, and some information about company as well, and so on. Okay. So that is known as SQL. Even same goes with the login bypass. If the login page is vulnerable, then we can bypass it. If it is not vulnerable, then we cannot bypass it. Okay, with the help of SQL. So if the website is vulnerable, then we can like apply the attack of SQL injection. Okay, so this is where we can apply, and now how we can apply. So we have two mechanisms of applying the SQL. First is automatic method. Okay, and second we have manual method. So automatic we can use with the help of SQL map. Okay, SQL map is a tool which is pre-installed in your Kali. Okay, it is only available for Linux. Okay, it is also open source, which is free to use. Okay, so we will see how we can apply the attack with the help of SQL map, which is an automatic kind of process. Then we have manual method. In this, we can use SQL payloads, or we can say SQL malicious queries. Okay, now manual method is something which is very powerful than automatic method. Because let's say there's a website. Let's say that website is vulnerable. Okay, and you are scanning the website with the help of SQL map or any other application, and you are applying the attack with the help of SQL map. So SQL map is not that much efficient in the real time scenarios, right? Let's say the this website, which is ABC, it is protected by a firewall. Okay, it is blocking all your payloads. Then in that case, you cannot use SQL map. Okay, you can use the manual method to bypass the firewall, and then you can apply the attack. Okay, that is why manual method is more useful than automatic one. Automatic is something if you see the website is not like secure enough, or the website is very lightweight, then you can use automatic method, or you can use automatic method in the labs in the examination, but it is not efficient to use in the actual scenarios. Okay, and it is not powerful. Maybe your website is vulnerable, maybe your target is vulnerable, but SQL map is like something, it is not informing that this website is vulnerable or not. So it depends on the website itself. Maybe the website is protected via firewall. Okay, so automatic is fine, we can use it, and it is also easy to use, but it is not efficient. What is efficient is manual method. Okay, so with the help of manual method, you can also apply the attack. You can also fetch the data from the database. Okay, and manual method is like it is also powerful. So we will use this manual method with the help of queries. Now, for using the manual method, you should know SQL language. Okay, SQL language is important if you want to apply the attack manually. Okay, you should learn the best SQL language. Okay. So we will see both, like how we can apply the tech automatically and manually. Okay, so first we will understand steps. Is it clear this much? Any doubt? Any questions up to here? Okay. So first is
No,
how we can
no.
apply the so first is how we can apply the SQL injection. Okay. So as I said, we have to check if the website is vulnerable or not. If it is vulnerable, then we can apply. If it is not, then we cannot apply. Okay, so here we have to check if the website is vulnerable or not. So what we can do? What is the step number one? Which is we have to check if the website is vulnerable or not. Now, how we can check it? So, and before checking the website, we have to find the website first, right? We have some websites. So what we can do, we are going to find some websites. So we can going to use the Google Docs for that. Okay. So let's see. We can take help of some docs from my list. So we will going to find some colleges website or some e-commerce. You can choose any kind of website. Okay, it's your choice. So we can search for product. We have products. Yeah, we can use this one. Okay, so let's say we have some websites. We have the first website is this one. We can open this. These are all e-commerce website. We are using a doc in URL product.php. Okay, so we want this page in the URL. Okay, so here we have this one, which is a jewelry website. Okay, then we have this one youth light. We can open this as well. We can open this website. Methodologies for this is paste. We can use this one. This is also some e-commerce websites and so on. So we have four websites here. Okay. So now what we can do? So here you can notice one thing here. We have this URL, which is sync this one. We have this one URL of the website and ID equal 10. So if you find ID equal 10 or cat underscore ID equal 10. See, if you find cat underscore ID, then this website is vulnerable to the SQL injection because we have this category ID. So how we can find if the website is vulnerable? So here we have ID equal 10, which means, let's say we have a product here. We have, let's say, image of shoes. Okay, and we have, let's say, image of heels. Okay, so when you click on shoes, you are giving an input, right? You are clicking on the shoes. So you are clicking on the shoes category. So you as a user clicking on any shoes, which means you are giving the input to the server. Okay, let's say the ID of shoes are 10 and ID of heels are 11. So when you click on shoes, the ID is 10 here. So it will update here 10. Let's say you are clicking on heels. So which means the ID is 11. So the ID will change here 11. Which means you are changing the ID, not manually, but when you're clicking on any product, the IDs keep on changing. Okay, which means you as a user are giving the user input. Okay, whenever we are putting something in the website as a user, that is known as user input. Okay, so here we are giving the user input. Now let's say, what if I put a quotation here? Now shoes, heels, all the information on the website are stored in the database. Okay, let's say we have a column here, products. Sorry, table. Inside products, we have a table like we have columns, product number one, we have shoes category, we have heels, and lots of tables we have. So these all the data are fetching from the database only. You are putting this one, this URL. You are sharing this URL to the server. The server is like checking your ID, which is 11, and from server is fetching the details from the database. Okay, and it is displaying to you in the front end. Okay, so this is ID number 11 here. So when you click on heels, it will like shoes, it will become 10 here. Now, what if we put a quotation here? So now we are putting the 10 as a ID plus quotation also. Okay. So now what this means, now let's see in this website. Here we have an ID here and then here we are putting a quotation, a simple Single quotation. That's it. Enter. Now you can see we have something in this page. We have this warning here. MySQL fetch error expects parameter this one, and we have something warning here. And this is not warning, it is a SQL, which is MySQL error here. So database is MySQL, and this is a SQL error. Now, why are we seeing this error? Because here we are putting the quotation. As I said, we are giving the user, like server, as an input. Okay, we are giving the input to the server. Now with the input, we are giving a quotation. Okay, now let's say we are putting 10 here. Okay, and let's say you click on the heels. So this ID become 11. So in the server, the server is making a query, which is select all from, what is the name of the tables? Table products. Okay, products where ID equal 11. Okay, this is the SQL query. Okay, it is the SQL language, which is the SQL query. So whenever you are clicking on any product, and let's say that product has some ID, so you are making this query. Okay, the server is making this query to the database, where we have to select everything. This all means everything from products. Products is a table here. Products where ID equal 11. So whenever we are clicking on the heels, we are making this query to the database. Now with this, you are putting a quotation also, and here we have the quotation. Now this is a something extra here, quotation. This is an error here, right? We are making the syntax error because this is the actual query. Okay, like if you are using any language, let's say Python, SQL, C, C++, whenever you are playing with the languages, you might face some like syntax error. So here we are putting a quotation, and here this is a syntax error. Now the database can understand this one, even this semicolon. Okay, this semicolon is the part of the query. But here this single quotation is not the part of the query. This is something extra. So here we are putting a error here. Okay, this is known as a syntax error. So here we are generating the error as an attacker. Okay, and now one more thing. Now we are having the error on the screen, right? Which means the server is accepting our quotation, right? Let's say we have one more website. Let's take an example of abc.com. In the ABC, again we have some product.php page. Okay, and here we have ID equal 1 or any ID 5. Now here you are putting the quotation. Okay, and the ABC is not accepting your quotation. So which means the ABC is secure, because it is not accepting your extra character or any other character apart from the ID, which is 5 here. So this means the website will not print any kind of error, or the database will not show any kind of error, which means the server is not accepting your quotation. But here the server is accepting your quotation as well with a query. And this is a overall query. So this is a syntax error because here we have some extra character here. So this will throw an error, which is a syntax error. And that error is also displaying on the screen. Okay, which is in the web page. So this means the website is vulnerable because the website is accepting a quotation as a ID, and it is also displaying the error on the screen. Okay, this SQL is known as error based SQL. Okay, where we are generating the error to check if the website is vulnerable or not. Okay, first thing is if the website displays the error, then we can say the website is vulnerable. Second thing is if the contents of the website or of the web page disappears, then we can say the website is vulnerable. And third is if the website loading time slows down, then website is vulnerable. Okay. If the Okay, so we can check if the web page displays the error, then we can say the website is vulnerable. If the contents of the web page disappears, then we can say the website is vulnerable. And if the website of the web page loading time slows down, then the usual time, then we can say the website is vulnerable. So this is all after putting the quotation. Okay, so this is all after putting the quotation. When you put the quotation and you see any of this behavior in the website, then we can say the website is vulnerable to SQL injection. Okay, so these are known as error-based SQL injection, and this is known as time-based SQL injection, where the uh, web page loading time slows down. Okay, then the usual one, which means the website is vulnerable. Okay, so this is how we can identify if the web page or the website is vulnerable or not using these quotations. Okay, this single quotation. And this is the science, or we can say the mechanism behind this, like why are we putting the quotation and why are we seeing such behavior of the web page? Because of the syntax error. Okay, so now what we can do, we can try one more example. We have this website, which is Youth Light, and we have some ID here. So what we can do, we can put a simple quotation here. Okay, see, nothing happens here. So which means the website is not vulnerable. So what we can do, we can try in this website, which is we have ID equal 142 PID, which is product ID 4, and we can put a quotation. And you can see we have an error here. You have an SQL syntax error, which is check your manual, etc. And here we can see the database is MariaDB server. Okay. So this means the website is vulnerable. And here you can see the query as well. Select all from table kid album underscore kid. So this is the table name here, where AC underscore length, which is the we have this one column name here, which is English, and then we have another column ID here, and limit here we have some other syntax here. Okay, so if we can also see the table names here, we can also see the column names here. Okay, and with the help of this quotation and some other payloads, we will going to fetch the entire data from the database. So this website is also vulnerable. Okay, we are just putting a quotation here and then enter. And the quotation is converting into percentage 27 because of the URL encoding. Okay, then we have this website where we have ID 2464. Sorry, we can put a quotation here. We can check if this is, now you can see this is also vulnerable. Like around 70% of the websites are vulnerable towards SQL injection. So it is a very high priority, or we can say high level vulnerability. So here we have an error, and this is also MariaDB. I think this is of previous website. Let me refresh it. Okay, let's open this website again. We have this one. We can select on any of the product. Okay, now we can see the PID 7. Now we can put a quotation here. Okay, yeah, this website is also vulnerable. Okay, now we can also use some other website. Now you can see here. This website is also vulnerable. Okay, this website is not working. With this one. Okay, now here, this is a second example, which is if the contents of the web page disappears, then website is vulnerable. Means contents of the web page means, let's see we have this one. Here we have this something is written here, this is test here, and this image here. Okay, we have this image. Now let's put a quotation here. Okay, now you can see we are not getting any error, but the contents of the web page, which is the heading here, some text here, some image here, they are all disappeared. So means this website is also vulnerable to SQL injection. Okay, so this is how we can check if the website is vulnerable or not. So we can see many other example, like we have many websites, we have e-commerce website, we have some other website. And if let's say you are analyzing that, you are checking if the website is vulnerable or not. If nothing happens, then we can say the website is not vulnerable. Okay, so these are the signs where you can check if the website is vulnerable or not. Also, we have this website. Okay, we have this products here. We can select any product from here. We have ID equal 1 here. Okay, and here we can put a quotation. page is not working. Okay, now you can see this website is not vulnerable. We have some other errors here, but not the SQL error, which means the website is not vulnerable. We have this website as well. Okay, so now we can put a quotation here. Okay, now you can see we have syntax error. Now these error can arise anywhere in your page. These can display anywhere on the page, like on the right side, left side, upper, down, like bottom, top, anywhere, left side, or anywhere in the page. So you have to check the entire page. Okay. For example, you can see that here we have also the error, which is syntax error or access violation here. And we have the error here as well, which means this website is also vulnerable. Okay, so this is how we can check if the websites are vulnerable or not. Is it clear this much? Any questions?
No,
No.
Bhavya.
So now we will going to use the SQL map. So the first step is to check if the website is vulnerable or not. And how do we check? We can put a simple quotation. Okay, and let me mention this. Okay, yeah, right. Now we can move to step number second. Now first, this is a automatic method we are using. Okay, so this is for automatic method. Means this is for SQL map. Like how do we use SQL map with the help of how do we use the SQL injection with the help of SQL map? Okay, so step number one is check if the website is vulnerable or not. Second is, let's see. So you can open the terminal here. Now we can become the root user. Okay, now we can use SQL map hyphen help to check some arguments. Okay, so here we can use hyphen u for here we have URL. We can also use Google Docs here. We can use cookies here. We can use proxies here. We can also use now here we can use these arguments. Okay, so let's see how we can use it. So first we have SQL map hyphen u, and then here we can put your website name here. Okay, enter. Now this is a website I'm going to use. Okay, it is a college website, and this website is vulnerable. Okay, so now first is now we are scanning with the help of SQL map also. Here we are checking if the website is vulnerable in the manual way. Okay, now we can check if the website is vulnerable or not with the help of SQL map. So for this we can put SQL map hyphen u, and then we can put the quotation, sorry, that uh, website URL. Okay, here you can put the URL and that's it. Okay, so let me copy this URL so that I can share this file. Sorry. Okay, so don't put the quotation here. We don't need to put quotation here because we are checking directly. Okay, so hyphen u, here we are checking if the website is vulnerable or not with the help of SQL map. And as I said, SQL map is not efficient. Maybe you find that website is vulnerable with the help of manual method, but SQL map will not tell you. It depends on the website structure as well. So even if the website is vulnerable, sometimes SQL map says the website is not vulnerable, but it is with the help of manual method. That is why manual method is more powerful than the of this one SQL map, okay, or the automatic method. So here we can check again if the website is vulnerable or not. Now here you can see uh, here we have an option here, which is do you want to skip test payloads specific for some other databases? And here it is asking for yes or no. You can see Y or N, which is yes or no. And here you can see Y is in caps. Okay, it is in uppercase. So here default option is Y only because it is in uppercase. So when I press Y here, okay, this will again ask you something else. So this will keep on asking some other option. Do you want to apply this attack, that attack? You want to apply this one, that one? So it will keep on asking. So this will, what we can do, we can automate this stuff here. So what we can do, we can put here hyphen batch. So batch for here we are putting this one so that this will auto select yes or no, because this will keep on asking you if you want to put this one, if you want to put this one, or if you want to apply this one or that one. So you have to keep on answering yes, no every time you apply the tag. So that is why here we can put batch here. Batch is like it is a automatic stuff. So this will automatically select Y or N. Okay, which one is in the uppercase. Uppercase means this is a default option. So here we can put hyphen batch, automate the process. Okay, now you can see it is automatically selecting Y here. Yes or no Y. So this will like keep on selecting the payloads. Okay, for example, here we can see it is asking for the Y or no. So it is automatically selected Y because it is in uppercase. Same as with this. Okay, so hyphen batch for automating the process. Okay, now you can see the scan is completed. Now you can see get parameter 1 is generic, and here we have some yes or no. Then you can see these are the parameters which is vulnerable. ID parameter is vulnerable, and this is a error based SQL injection. Also we have some time based also, and so on. So which means this ID parameter which we have provided here, ID, this parameter is vulnerable. Okay, so which means, and here we have some other information like the backend database is MySQL, and it is using Linux server, and we have some Apache version, it is the service or technology it is using. And MySQL databases, the version of database is more than and equal to 5.6. Okay, so what we can do, so now this website is vulnerable. Okay, even we can check it manually. So here we have this website. Okay, so this website is vulnerable. Now, how do we check if this website is vulnerable or not manually? So simply we can put a quotation. Okay, now you can see you have an error near SQL syntax, which means this website is actually vulnerable, and also the SQL map is telling this website is vulnerable. Now we are sure enough. Now what we can do? So this is my second step. So third step is, now this step is compulsory because now here manually the website is vulnerable, you are sure enough, but you also want to check with the help of SQL map, because you are not doubting your manual scan, you are doubting the SQL map, because SQL map is not efficient. Okay, it is not efficient as the manual scanning. So manual, if the manually the website is saying it is vulnerable, then it is fine, but still we have to check with the automatic scan if the website is vulnerable or not, or we can say if the SQL map can identify the website is vulnerable or not. Okay, because if there's any firewall which is protecting the website, or if there's any other security mechanism which we can bypass manually, but we cannot bypass using SQL map. Okay, so we have to check if the SQL map can identify the website is vulnerable or not. So it is important. Okay, step number 3 is, now here we have a hierarchy in the database. In the database, okay, we have some database name. Inside databases, we have some tables, right? Table names. Inside tables, we have some columns, right? We have some column names. Inside columns, we have the actual data, or we can say we have cells. So here we have this hierarchy. So first we are going to find the database name, then the table names, then the column names, and then the data. So first is database name. So we can copy this one. So find the database name. Okay, or databases. We can have more than one database. And we can copy this one. And this we can do with the help of hyphen DBS. Okay, which is hyphen database. We can copy this and we can apply it here. Sorry, we have to put batch also. This is important. Okay. Okay, now you can see the scan is completed, and here we have the available databases, which have 6 or 7 databases. Yeah, 6 databases. So here we have 6 databases. First, we have this one, Arise database, information schema, MySQL performance schema, PHP MyAdmin, sys here. Now here from PHP MyAdmin is our an information schema, MySQL performance schema. These all are the default databases. Okay, in which information schema is the database which you will find in every website. Okay, this information schema database contain the information of other databases and some other configuration information which is not useful for us. Okay, so what we are going to do, these all databases are not useful because these contain some useless data like configuration information. And PHP MyAdmin is like a not a useful database. But if you want to fetch the data from these database as well, then you can do. Okay, it's your choice. But here, this database is not usual. Okay, this is something unusual, which is like this is the database which is created by the admin or any user of the owner, sorry, owner of the website. So what we can do, we can use this database. Maybe this database can contain some information about the college. Okay, as it is a college website, we can have information about employees, so number of students, ID, password, and so on. So we are going to use this database. So database name is this one, copy it. Okay. Now second step is fetch the table names. Okay. So what we will do, we will just here. Now in place of database, here you can put hyphen D. D for database and mention the name of your data as it is. Okay, you can copy the database and you have to put as it is. And then hyphen tables. Okay, enter. Sorry, we have to put the batch here. That is important. Okay, now we are fetching the details of the table names on the database. Okay, so we can mention the step number 4, which is find. Okay, and here we have the result. So these are tables inside the database. We have 22 tables inside this database. Okay, like we have achievement, we have admin, we have alumni registration, category, download, gallery, highlights, invoice, media, news, and so on. Placement, registration, users, video session, and so on. So these are the tables we have inside this database. Now here we have two options. First option is either we can dump the data of entire tables all together. Okay, and this will take time because we have data inside each and every table, and we don't know how much data we have, like how much columns we have. Okay, so first option is we can dump all the data from all these tables all together. Second is we can choose any table, any specific table, and then we can dump the data of that table. Okay, so we can do both. We can first try second option, and then we can try first option. So we can choose any specific table here. So can you tell me which table is important for us? Like here we have many tables. Which table is important? Or which table can contain important or confidential data?
I'll say admin table.
Okay, admin, and then any other table?
Download.
Okay, download. Okay,
I'll say registration.
which one?
Registration table at the bottom.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
After yeah, pretty much.
And then we have
Uh,
this users. This may
oh
contain
yeah,
some
yeah,
username passwords, right?
hmm yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
Also, we can have invoice. Maybe
Uh,
we can find something useful
invoice.
here.
hmm
Okay. So now what we can do, we can choose any specific table. Let's say admin here. So now how we can fetch data from admin? So what we can do, we can just put uppercase here. Now here we can mention the table name, which is admin. Okay, and then hyphen hyphen dump. That's it. And hyphen hyphen batch. Now we are dumping the data from this admin table. Okay, so this is, we can copy.
Maybe is it another way you can take the count of the table?
No, no, no. We can
No.
only, we can just mention the name here and then we can
Okay.
put dump here.
All right.
So step number 5 is fetch details. We can say data from the tables. Okay, and here we can use, this is method number 1, where we are fetching the specific table details. Like this is table here, and we are fetching this like detail of this specific table here. And here you can see, let's see, the we don't have anything in this table. We have table number admin, and here we have 0 entries, which means we don't have any data inside this table. So we can choose any other table. We can choose users here. Okay, you can choose any other table, users. So this is first method, and second method is dumping the entire and this is the first method, which is so first method is this one, and here we have the answer. Now here you can see in the users table we have the ID number 21. Okay, and here we have the password of this ID, and we have this username here, and then we have this date here or time here. Okay, so this is not 21 is ID here, which is we have only one row in this particular table. Okay, so we have one entry in this, in the entire table, which is entry number 21, and here we have some ID here, and here we have some username here, which is our email address, and then here we have some date here. The password is in the form of hash format. It is not the real password. It is encrypted. Okay, if you want to log in the account, then you cannot, because here the username is right here, but password is in the hash format, and we have to crack this password first, and then we can like use it. Okay, this is first method. Okay, you can just replace any table name of your choice, and you can dump the database of that specific table. And for the entire tables, what you can do, you can simply put the database name and hyphen hyphen dump hyphen all. Okay, hyphen hyphen batch. So this is the second method, like second way of dumping or fetching the data. Okay, like the entire data from all tables, we can use hyphen hyphen dump all. So this will take time. Like it depends on how many tables are there, how many data is there, how many columns or rows are there. Okay, so we have the data from the invoice. Let's see, we have some ID here and we have some invoice number. That's it. Okay, then we can dump. We can use here database and hyphen hyphen dump hyphen all and hyphen hyphen batch. So this is for dumping the entire database. Here you can see details of this table number, table, what is the name of this table? Highlight. Okay, and then we have details of other tables. We have this one, video session, media here, and so on. So we have details of each and every table. So this is a second way of fetching the data, which is fetching all the data all together. Okay, and here we have some other data. Now let me stop this one. Now here one more thing, like here we have a option which is table. This table dump to CSV file in this location. Means when you close this terminal, your all data will be disappear. So the SQL map is automatically saving your data in a file, and which is the location of this file is here. Okay, now we are a normal user, we cannot move in this root location. For example, if I go to the file and if I move to the file system, root here, yeah. So I don't have the permission. Okay, so I don't have the permission. So what I can do, we can move the file in from this location to any other location. So you can simply copy this folder here, the name of the folder where we have all the files. Here, copy the location and click on move and name of the file you want to move and where you want to move. So I want to move here only in the home Kali, or what we can do, we can move inside home Kali desktop. Okay. So we're just moving the file from root to our home. Okay, now here we can see the file here. This one. Okay, this is our folder. Now we can simply open it. Now inside this we have all the CSV. Okay, which now here highlights table here, we have invoice table, we have users, we have admin, so on. So we have this one users here and here we have admin. So we can open this with the help of any editor. Okay, this is users admin here. And we have some events here. We can open it. Okay, so we have data here. So you can also open in the form of Excel file. Okay, like you can open the Excel or in any other like any other editor. Okay, so this is how we can use the SQL map. Okay, so first we can check if the website is vulnerable or not. So first is manual way of checking. So we can put a quotation here to check. Okay, and then we can check, we can confirm by using these three parameters. So let me we put here. Okay. Second is check if the website is vulnerable using the SQL map by putting this command. And then you can find database name also with the help of hyphen DBS, then table names with the help of hyphen tables, and then you can fetch the data from the tables. With the help of hyphen, you can mention the name of a specific table also, or you can fetch all the data all together with the help of this command hyphen dump all. Okay, so this is very easy method of applying the SQL injection, and also it is not as efficient as the manual method. Is it clear this much? Any questions up to here?
It's clear.
Okay. Now, can anyone tell me what kind of attack it is? It is a active or a passive attack? SQL injection is a active or passive attack?
I would say it is probably active attack
Why?
because we are directly attacking the database.
Exactly. It is an active attack. If someone's check the logs of the server, so they can find if the someone is applying the SQL injection attack, because they can find the queries of the SQL in their server logs. Okay. So that is why SQL injection, like applying this attack to any website is illegal. Okay, so don't apply it to any other website which is secure enough. But yeah, you can apply this attack in this website. It is not secure. Okay, and no one is going to check your logs. Also, you can apply the attack on any other website, but don't try the attack on any government website. Okay. Not on the government website or not on your own country's website. Okay, try to attack on any other country website. Like any other countries, you can apply the attack. Okay, like as I said, 70% websites are vulnerable to SQL. So you can choose any website and you can apply the attack. Okay, but don't apply the attack on government websites. Okay. So this is a simple automatic method. Now we can go with the manual method. So I will go to use my Firefox here. Okay. So we will use that website only, which is this one, this college website. So we can copy the URL. So this is manual method. So in the manual method, what we can do, we can first is, again, step number 1, to check if the website is vulnerable or not. Same, we can put the quotation. Okay, so the manual method is same. We can put the quotation in the website URL. So here we can put the quotation, and here we can see the website is vulnerable. Now, what we can do is, let me close this. So now we can check the number of columns. Okay, for example, here we have this website ID equal 44, and here we can put a quotation, and we can use order y 1 and dash dash. And here we have a SQL syntax, which is saying, okay, there's some problem with the, here we can put quotation order by 1. The website is not encoding the space, so we can put 20 here manually, same as 20 here. Okay, now we can put 1 and dash dash. Okay, now you can see we have put the order by command here, which is this one. Okay, so we have this one, 44. Percentage 20 means space here. This is URL encoded. Okay, this is like automatically encode. So this is space here and order, and then space is y space and 1 space and then dash or dash. So here we are checking how many columns are there. So which is here we are putting 1. So when we put 1, see the website is loaded successfully without any error. Okay, we don't have any error. So let me refresh the website. We can reduce the size of the website. Okay, now we can put order by, we can increase the number, like let's say second. Okay, again, nothing happens. So what we can do, we can just increase the number up to 5. And then we can see the website is loaded successfully. Now we can increase the number 6 here. Now at number 6, we get an error, which is unknown column 6 in the order clause, which is we don't have any column number 6, which means how many columns we have? 5 columns. Because at number 6, we are getting this error, which is unknown column 6, which means how many columns we have? 5. If you get the error on 10th column, which means the number of columns are 9. If you get error on column number 11, so which means we have 10 columns. Okay, so here we have columns number 5. So basically we have 5 columns because at 5 number the website is loaded successfully without any error. Okay, but when we put column number, number 6 here, which means there's no column number 6. We have only 5 columns, which is we are getting the error at number 6, which means the website has 5 columns. Okay, so now third step is to check which column are vulnerable. Like we have 5 columns. Okay, we have to check which columns are vulnerable. So what we can do, we can just copy this command right here, or let me remove these %20. Okay, you can just copy this command as it is. Okay, now so here we can put union select. Union select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like we have 5 columns. So here we are putting 5 here. So let's copy this one command, the whole, and paste here. Okay, now here we are checking which column is vulnerable among 5 columns. And here you can see we have some answer here. Like here, if you let me reduce the size here. See, we have these columns which is not stable. Let me reduce the size further. Yeah. So here you can see we have 3 columns here, which is 3, 5, 2. Now these columns, these numbers are coming from nowhere. Okay, like if you remove this command here, and if you enter here, see we don't have any other column, like we have simple website. But when you put this one, this command here, space, yeah. So here you can see we have some columns here, 3, 5, 2. Means these columns are vulnerable, which is third column is vulnerable, fifth column is vulnerable, and second column is vulnerable. Okay, now these number can be appear anywhere on the page. They can appear on top of the page, bottom, left corner, right corner, anywhere. Okay, so these numbers can be appear anywhere on the page. So make sure you check the entire web page where these columns are coming. Okay, now these columns 352, these columns are vulnerable because these are displaying on the screen. Okay, now we can apply the attack on any of these columns. We can apply on third column also, on fifth column and second column. Okay, like you can choose any column from here and you can apply the attack on that column. So, and you cannot apply the attack all together. Like you cannot apply the attack on third, fifth, or two all together. You can choose one column at a time and then you can apply either 3, 5, or 2. Okay, so we can choose 3 column third because the font of the third column is quite large. So we can see the tables or database name easily. Okay, so we are going to apply the attack on column number third. So this is step number third where we can find which column is vulnerable. Okay, then we have step number 4. So let me copy the command of column number 4 as it is too big. Okay, now we have step number 4, which is find names of the columns. Okay, sorry, names of the tables. We have to find the table names. So for this, we can use union select. And what is the purpose of union? Union is used to combine multiple columns together. Okay, that is the work of the union here. Okay, and as I said, for using the SQL injection manually, you have to learn the SQL language. That is compulsory. Otherwise, you cannot apply the attack. Okay, so we have union select and 1, 2 as it is, and then at column number third, we have this command here. So you can see here in place of 3, we are replacing this query here, which is group underscore concat table underscore name. Okay, and then 4, 5 as it is from information schema. Okay, and dot table underscore constants. So what we can do, we can copy this much, and here we can apply after id equal 44 space and then paste your command. Okay, so we are finding the table names. And here group concat matlab it means like we are combining the tables. Okay. And 4 5 from the information schema and another tables. Okay. So here what we can do, we have the result here. Okay, like you can see the table names here, achievement, admin, alumni. These are the tables which we are getting in the SQL map also. The same table names we are getting here. We have achievement, admin, alumni registration, category, and so on. We have all the tables here. Okay. Now here we can select any table here. Let's say we can select users again to fetch the details of the tables. So here we have users table. This, uh, this, this one. Okay, now we can choose this table name here and we can find the column names. Okay, so what is the step number 4? Finding the table names. And step number 5 is finding the column names of that table. Okay, so we can copy. So step number 5 is find the column names. So here we can put group concat column underscore name from information schema dot columns where table underscore name is, what is the name of table? Users. Okay, so these are, here we are finding the column names inside a table. So we can copy this much and here we can apply. Okay, make sure you are mentioning the table name as it is. So these are the column names. We have ID here, we have username here, we have password here, we have date here, we have user, current connections, total connections, and so on. Like these are column names. Now what we can do, we are interested in username and password. So now what is the last step? To fetch the data from the actual data from the table. So what we can do, we can here mention step number 6, which is fetch the actual data. So here we can use username, password from your table name, which is users. And here we can copy this command and we can paste here. Okay, so now here we have the username and password, you can say. Now your username is info and this one, and password is this one. Now we cannot differentiate between what is where is username and where is password. Like where is username is ending and from where the password is started. Okay, so we don't have any separation here. If you notice, let me zoom in here. So we don't have any separation here, like which is separating the username and password. So what we can do, we can put a separator here. For example, we have the username admin, and here we can put a colon, and then we can put the password here. So this colon is a separator here. So we can put this colon in the form of 0x38. Okay, this is a URL form, encoded form of this semicolon. Sorry, colon. And here we can put 0x38. So this will apply the colon in middle of username and password. Okay, so here we can put this 0x38. Okay, now you can see we have a colon here, which can separate username and password. Okay, you can see this colon. So here we have this username here up to here, and then we have a colon here, and then we have the password here. Okay, so this is how we can separate the username and password. And make sure you will apply the username here and the spelling of password as it is. If it is user name, then you have to put like this. If it is username, then you can put as it is. So make sure what is the name of the column. You have to put the spelling as it is. Okay, like if the password is in pass format like this one, then you have to mention pass here, not password. But password is written fully in the column name, then we can mention password here. Okay, so basically we have to mention the username, the column names, the table names, the database name as it is, whatever is in the database. Okay, so this is how we can fetch the data manually. Okay, basically you can use this mechanism on every website, but this is not but for this you should understand SQL language. Okay, maybe this method will not work in some websites which have some other databases. Okay, because they are all SQL only, but the syntax may vary from database to database. Okay, so you can change the slide. You can just put the quotation. If this doesn't work in your database, in any other website, then you can put the quotation here. Okay, or you can remove the sign here, like comments here. So you can just modify some query here and you can apply. Otherwise, others command like order by, union select, and this one, these all are same only. Okay, you can just modify, you can put a quotation, you can remove quotation, you can just change something, some part, and then you can apply the this attack. Okay, means the commands are same in every database, which is relational databases. But you can just slightly change some column, you can add column, you can remove column, and so on. Okay, so this is a manual way of applying the SQL injection attack, and it is not easy because the commands or the syntax may vary. Okay, so that is why, as I said, SQL language is important to apply this SQL injection. Okay, so you can learn the language in this week and then you can apply in multiple websites. Okay, so here we have multiple websites. We have jewelry's website. We have many websites. So you can apply the attack anywhere you want. Okay, but don't apply the attack on government website. Okay, so is it clear this much? Any questions?
So
No,
I
got
have
it.
if the website is not vulnerable, so then we'll not able to attack anyway, right?
Yes, yes.
Is there
Then
any
you cannot apply the attack.
no way, right?
No way. See, if the website is protected by any firewall, then you can bypass it. But if the website is fully secured, okay, like if the coding or the coding part or the backend part of the website is fully secured, then you cannot apply it. But if there's any firewall, if there's any mod security applied in the website, then you can bypass it. You can bypass it, but you cannot. It depends on how much you can bypass. Okay, but you can bypass it. But if the website is fully secured with all its coding, with all its versions, database versions, everything, then you cannot apply the attack. Okay. And how do you know if the website is protected with the mod security? If you put the quotation, if you check if the website is vulnerable or not, and when you put the quotation, the website will show you that this character is something not allowed, and it is from the mod security. So the website itself tell you that there's a mod security or there's some kind of firewall or this character is not allowed, then you can bypass it. Okay, if the website is even saying this character, this thing is not allowed, then you can bypass it. But if you are putting the quotation and the website is loaded as it is without any error, without anything, then website is fully secured. Then you cannot bypass it. Okay.
How we can bypass?
That is not the part of your syllabus, but you can use encoding in that case. Okay, you can do some research and you can use encoding. Like you have a payload. For example, we have these payloads. For example, we have quotation, we have order by, you have union select. So you can like encode these payloads and then you can bypass it. Okay, because the security of the website can understand quotation, but it cannot understand the encoded form of this quotation. Okay, not percentage 20, any other form. Okay, like you can use any other any other encoding to encode the quotation, and then you can bypass it. So encoding is a technique which you can use to bypass the firewall. If one encoding is not working, double encode your payloads, triple encode your payloads. It can bypass it. Okay, so encoding is a technique which we can use to bypass the security of the firewalls or any other mod security.
Okay,
Okay, any
thanks.
okay. So this is the first type of attack, which is fetching or dumping the data. Second is login bypass. So again, we can follow the steps. Let me remove this. No use of. So we can bypass the login page by various techniques, but we will here going to use the SQL injection. Okay. Now again, we have to find the website first, and second is we have to check if the website is vulnerable or not. Okay, so here we cannot check separately if the website is vulnerable or not. What we can do, we can directly apply the attack. If the attack succeed, then we can say the website is vulnerable. If the website is not working with the login bypass, then we can say the website is secure. Okay, so here there's no way of checking additionally. Likewise, we have a way. Like we can put a quotation to check first, but here we don't have any way. We can just apply the attack directly. If the website work, if the login page bypass, then we can say the website is vulnerable. Otherwise, not. Okay, so what we can do, we can find some login pages. So here again we will going to use Google Docs. So we can use in URL, let's say login.exp. Okay, and here we can put college. You can use any website, e-commerce, college, any IoT website, any website. Okay. So here we have some websites. So let me open these one by one. We have this website, we have this website, we have this. These are all login pages. Okay, we have parent login here, we have student, college, and so on. Okay, we have this website, this one. This is not reachable. Oh, this is. Okay, we have this website, and then we have this one. I think this is okay. Okay, this website is not vulnerable, so let me remove it, or we can check it first. Now here we have this user ID and we have this password here. So now what kind of payload we can use here? So we have a very popular payload here for the login white pass. Okay, which is here we can use admin or 1=1. Okay, so we can use this payload both on username as well as passwords. Now, what is the meaning of this payload? So first we have this admin here. Admin is a username here, and we don't know the username. It can be Apple also. It can be anything. Okay, so we don't know the username. So here we can put anything, any user. You can put your name. You can put any name here. Let's say Apple. And then we have this quotation here, and then we have or here. Okay, and then we have one condition here, which is 1=1. Now 1 is equal to 1. That is always true here. Okay, which is 1=1. This is universally true. Right. So here we are checking the condition with the help of OR operator. Okay, so here we are using the OR operator here. OR operator means, now can anyone tell me what is the difference in AND or OR operator? What is the difference here? AND operator and OR operator.
Yeah, like and and is like a also like a it's kind of uh, a true result, like comparing in uh, both, and or also like it could be a false or true, like that.
Yeah, kind of. So here in the AND operator, we have to check both conditions. If both conditions are true, then answer is true. Okay, for example, let's say we have this one condition which is 1=1 or 1=2 here. Now 1=1 is true, but 1=2 is not true, which means this condition is true here and this condition is false here. So the answer will be true, false, because this one condition is false, which is this condition. So in the AND operator, AND checks for both condition, left condition also and right condition also. Okay, and if any of the condition is false, so the answer is also false. That is AND operator. For example, this condition is 1 year. So now here both conditions are true. This condition and this condition. So the answer is true only. Okay, so that is why here if this condition is false, so the answer is false also, because and checks for both condition. Now here let's say we have OR here. Okay, 1 equal 1. Now here one condition is true and second condition is false. But the answer will be true here because OR checks for one condition only. If one condition is true, then the answer will be true. Okay, let's say if this is also false, so answer is false. Okay. And if let's say this condition is true, so the answer is also true here. Okay, so this is OR here. We have and checks for both condition. And OR operator checks for one condition. If one condition is true, then answer is true. And in the AND operator, if both conditions are true, then we can have the answer as true. And here, that is why we are using OR operator. Now you can relate here. Okay, like Apple is as we know that Apple is not a username here. It can be anything, any username here. So we are not sure that this condition is true or not. It can be any name here. We don't know the username. But here we are putting OR. But this condition is always true, which is 1 equal 1. It is like universally true. So this means this answer is true. And if the web page is vulnerable, then this help us to bypass the login page. Same as with the password, we can apply this query in the password as well. So we can simply copy this one and here we can apply it. Okay, so let's try this one. Okay, we are just trying and here this one and click on submit. Please enter correct user ID password. Okay. And you can see this works because we have a logout option, which is we are inside this website. Okay, and we have this detail of some applicant, which is this one. We have date of birth here, and then we have MCA, some other information of this particular user. Also, we have the username of this particular user, which is username and password also, which is Jehruman. Okay, and we have this mobile number, which means this attack works, which means this web page is vulnerable. Okay, we can move to another account, like any other location. And we can click on logout here to logout. Okay. Now we can try this one also. We can put the QDN login processing. Okay, now you can see invalid authorization, which means this is not vulnerable. Same as we can try with this one. Okay, we can see if this is vulnerable or not. So this is not vulnerable. Same as we can try with this username and this password here and login. Okay, username incorrect, which is this is also not vulnerable. We can try this one here. Okay, this is not vulnerable. Same as we can try with multiple websites. We have this one other websites. Okay, we have this one username, we have password here, we have some team number here. So you can admin, we can log in as admin. Okay, we can click on login. Let's see if this is working or not. Now this is also not vulnerable. Okay, same as we can try with this one. Username, password, login. Okay, so this is also not vulnerable. Same as you can try now, you cannot try in the email address because in the email address we have this at the rate. Okay, that is we have to put at the rate here, which is not vulnerable. Okay, so same as we can try with this one here email password. Now this is asking for the email address. So now here we cannot put this query as an email address. Okay, so we have to mention the email address like at the rate. Let's try sign in. Okay, now this is not working. So this is how we can check if the websites are vulnerable or not. Okay, like you can pick up any website and you can try it. Okay, even many websites, many login pages are vulnerable to this SQL injection. Okay, so you can just apply. Apart from this payload, you can choose any other payload. Like you can search for SQL injection payloads GitHub. And here we are searching for login bypass payload. If one payload doesn't work, you can use other payloads. Okay, we have this one authentication bypass payloads. For example, we have these payloads. Okay, we have this one, this one. These are all payloads here. You can choose any payload from this list and you can apply. If one payload is not working, you can try another payload. If another is not working, you can try some other payloads. Okay, if any payload is not working, which means the website is fully secured. So what you can do, you cannot sit and you cannot try each payload one by one. That is, not possible because we have 198 payloads here. So what you can do, you can open your worksuit and you can apply the brute force attack with the help of intruder. Okay, that we have already discussed, like how we can apply the brute force attack. Okay, so you can just copy this list of payloads and you can apply this in the username world list, same as with the password. Okay, if any of the payload work, so this is like the worksuit will tell you. Okay, for example, you can choose this payload here, this one, and we can apply this one in this website also. Okay, here we can check if this website is vulnerable to this payload or not. Okay, so here we have this one. We have some error here. Okay, so you can choose any payload from here. You can choose this payload, any other payload to check if the website is vulnerable or not. Okay, like it's your choice. You can pick up any payload. So this website is vulnerable to this payload. Okay. So this is a method of bypassing the login page. And we have many tools for this, like you can take the login bypass using SQL injection automatic, like tool from GitHub as well. Okay, we don't have any specific tool for this one. You can create your own application also with the help of Python. Like you can automate the entire stuff with the help of Python, this login bypass using SQL injection. Or you can also try manually. Same with this, you can create your own SQL map with the help of Python or any other language. Okay, creating your own tool is different than using someone else's tools. Okay, that is why if you think that this process is very large, this process is very it involves repetition, then you can simply pick up any language of your choice. You can learn it and then you can create your own application. Like you can automate as well. Okay, for example, you want to apply this attack on multiple login pages. Then you can use Python and you can just copy the URL of those websites. You can just use web scraping and then you can copy the URL and some parameters, which is username and password parameter. You can apply on the Python and then apply your playlist. Sorry, word list. Okay, and this will like keep on brute forcing your payloads in multiple login pages with the multiple login, sorry, username and password parameters. So you can automate that stuff with the help of Python as well. Python is a like very powerful language. Same goes with the SQL map. You can create your own SQL. SQL map is very easy to create. You can create it. Then you can use the automatic method in the real life scenario. Okay. And even for using the SQL map or creating the SQL map like application, you should know the Python as well as SQL injection. That is very compulsory. Okay. So is it clear? Any questions up to here? Any doubts?
No, thank you.
Mirza, Navi, Saif, Sanjay, any doubts?
No, thank you.
No, ma'am.
No, thank you.
Okay. So that's it for today. Okay. You can practice on this one SQL map, SQL injection, and login bypass mechanism. Okay, on multiple websites. Make sure to use the VPN. Okay, don't use without VPN or proxies. Okay. And in the next session, we can continue with the web application attacks. Okay. And one more thing, is there any chance that anyone, like you can all connect on 29 December, like on Friday? Because on 31 December, I'm not available. So we can also have the session on 29 Friday, like 29 December Friday. Same timing also, and if you want to shift the timing, you can tell me as well.
The thing is, Ravi, actually, the Friday 29th, actually, we will be working, so it will be difficult during the daytime. So we will talk and I'll let you know then, okay?
So
Okay.
Friday, actually, we have work. We'll not able to work on
Yeah.
Friday. Yes.
Okay, no issue. Then we can continue on 30 and then next weekend. Okay, basically we are left with few classes, like 5 to 6 classes only. So we will complete this one in the up to 15 January, right? Okay, so any other questions?
No, that's all.
Okay, so rest we can continue in the next week. Thank you.